And we roll GT thunder in the soul. The auto spy we chase, Watkins Glen in the rain. Road America burns every lap we earn. 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, keep the math. GT3, GT4, door to door forevermore. Run it down, grid up, run it down. 9 races, 1 champ now. Run it down, motor mouth on the call. We came to answer it all. You clean, Barcelona in between. Sonoma dust and sweat, no room for regret. Every pit stop, every fight, we bring the whole night. 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, keep the math. GT3, GT4, door to door forevermore. Run it down, grid up, run it down. 9 races, 1 champ now. Run it down, motor mouth on the call. We came to answer it all. Historic track, hot blood, chrome dreams in the mud. If you want that title run, you better stay in the sun. Nose to tail, wheel to wheel, that's the only deal. Hear that crowd lean in, we're gonna do it again. Run it down, grid up, run it down. 9 races, 1 champ now. Run it down, motor mouth on the call. We came to answer it all. Run it down,
We head to Barcelona, coming in for round number 5 out of the total 9 rounds here at the Grid Up Sim Racing GT Challenge. Welcome in, everybody, for the Barcelona 1.5. 90 minutes around the Barcelona Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya here in Catalonia, Spain. A great circuit for all things GT, open wheel. You've probably seen it all over the place because it's a fairly popular track. My name is Tristan Herbst. Joining me in the commentary box and the production box tonight is Jim Cunningham. He's going to be controlling all the camera angles and all the elite shots you'll be seeing tonight. Not only that, he'll also be on the microphone jumping in with myself throughout this entire race. So an hour and a half around Barcelona, and an excellent track for good GT racing, and not only just GT3s, GT4s included, which is what we get tonight. It's about 2.9 miles long, 4.6 kilometers in length if you prefer imperial versus metric. Track conditions are looking at roughly 78 degrees in air temp and then 83 track temp, so relatively cold out there, and then just a mild wind. It does not look like we will be experiencing any rain for this event. There is a 60% fuel cap like we always have here, and so that's going to prove to be a bit of a strategy decision for our drivers across the two classes. Jim, welcome in. How are we looking tonight for the 1.5 hour? Great circuit for some GT racing.
It really is. Good to be here with you, Tristan. I don't get the luxury of doing every one of these races, so it is a pleasure to be here. And at Barcelona, a track I happen to be a fan of, especially, well, let me rephrase that. I happen to be a fan of the historic version of this track, not necessarily a fan of the janky chicane, but luckily for us, most people now on sim racing platforms avoid that chicane like the plague, so we're in good shape. Yeah, man, good to be here with you, and like I said, good to be at Barcelona. We got a nice sized field. This is a first-year league, focusing on these endurance races, and the fields have grown a little bit as the season has went on, and it looks like we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 19-20 cars out on track tonight, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I think this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a good one indeed. And like we mentioned, the two classes out on circuit for tonight's racing, GT3s and GT4s on the board. Point standing so far as we head into round number 5 for the GT3 class at the moment. Alexander Cortez does sit up at the top. He's got 277 points. He is here tonight, so he's going to be trying to further push himself up. Terry Cantwell will be second. Harrison Holiday currently sits third, and then Alex Claudio and Jason Holland are your 4th and 5th in the GT3 top standings. And then you can also see our 2026 race winners so far, and then Alexander Cortez, Jacob Reed, Michael O'Dell, and Harrison Holiday getting some dubs at VIR, Watkins Glen, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and Road America, so grabbing all their points from those race wins. Your GT4 class currently, it is Empress or David Shreve who currently share the top spot, and that's 265 points in the Apex Motorsport team. Adam Jones is currently second for the Grumpy Ducks, and Andrew Fabian in third. And Adam Jones actually, what he said, it's a Quaxton Martin, incredible little, incredible Quaxton, team name that they've come up with there.
Quaxton Martin, that's the greatest thing ever.
We'll have a look at the Quaxton Martin once we're done with the point standings here. Andrew Fabian is third, and then AJ Johnson down fourth. Stephen Smalley with Pierre Pausi in 5th position. There again, your 2026 race winners so far for this year: Zach Saunders, Stephen Smalley, and Pierre Pausi in those 3 races respectively, getting the points up on the board. We are currently in qualifying. It's actually just come to an end, and we've hit the 10-minute clock. Jacob Reed is at the top for your GT3s, and Edward Foster is at the top for your GT4s. So looking very good there on the board so far for your GT drivers, and pretty close-knit qualifying, I've got to say. Jim, we've got a nice warm-up that we get the drivers to have a little bit of time before we get going with the race.
Yeah, and we get to maybe we'll go through the track map here and have a look around Barcelona for those of you that may not be quite as familiar with it. Fantastic circuit. I mean, literally obviously world class. It's a Formula One circuit.
Yeah, exactly. Formula One circuit indeed. So there we are, just on the left-hand side of the European continent of Spain, and once again in Catalonia, or Catalunya, as it is directly referred to in Spanish. And this is the no chicane edition, so the historic edition before we introduced chicane RACC coming in at the final corner. Again, like I mentioned, 2.9 miles long, 4.6 kilometers, and spans neatly across as a more lateral way track. So quite long in terms of its literal length. We head down to turn number 1. That's your Elf corner. So this is going to be a long straight all the way from New Holland down to Elf. You want to make sure you carry all the speed coming out of that final corner to make sure you get into the braking zone and can defend hard into Elf. It is a bit of a double chicane here coming into Elf. You've got to watch out not to run off wide onto the curbing on the left-hand side. It can chuck your car out wide onto the right-hand side, and that can really damage you coming into Renault, because it's an incredibly tight-knit corner where you have to make sure you get the car rotation to its absolute par on the inside line. You'll come underneath the Repsol bridge, which is going to bring you into the Repsol turn over there, or into the right-hand bender. Again, very easy to run wide here, off into the gravel trap on the left, or even snap the rear and lose the backside of the car. You then brake at a completely blind braking point. Not many good braking points there as you head further on into Seat. That's going to take you all the way down into the next chicane, which is going to be Worth. Again, another chicane with huge sausage curbs on the inside that if you do connect them wrong, well, no sausage curbs in our preview here. There they are now on the right side, apologies. And if you do connect with those sausage curbs wrong, they will throw you off the circuit. Into Kamsa you will go. Again, another corner where you have to watch out on corner exit not to touch the gravel. It will severely slow you down. You then go all the way down the back straight from Kamsa up to La Caixa, which is going to be your next turn. Turn number 10, the outside rotation, not the inside. And that's going to bring you all the way around from La Caixa up towards Bank Sabadell, which is going to be your right-hander heading into the final sector, or the final 2 corners of the track. This is where our chicane got introduced in newer era of Circuit de Catalunya, Circuit de Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, Circuit the Spanish Grand Prix here at Catalunya, Barcelona-Catalunya. There we go. And then that's going to bring you into New Holland. And out of New Holland, you'll come onto the back straight, again restarting the lap. So a great little track here. A mix of technicality, but also a mix of good speed having to be rendered on corner exit here. Not too much in terms of gradient and sea level change. It's quite flat out here at Catalunya. And so that is the challenge that the drivers have got today. An hour and a half around the circuit here at Catalunya. And I think it's going to be quite a good race, as our drivers will slowly start to prepare for the race.
Yeah, we got just a little bit of time left here in warm up, and we have it set up for drivers to run their video cams, and the only one that's running one today is Bradley Loving, and apparently, he must be having to. He's got his VR headset set up as his camera, which so far is not going great. But he also races in a motion rig, and I have to say it is so funny when he sets up the camera to show his motion rig. It's quite funny to watch somebody sim racing with a pretty violent motion rig, especially around a place like Sebring or something, where it really jolts them. I love it, but apparently he's adjusting his cam, but I thought I would show that. But yeah, he was the only car on track, so we'll pop up to the scenic blimp view of this place, which is fantastic as well. This is on my list of tracks that I would love to go to in person. Obviously, being as you from different continent, it's one of those things that if I ever get over to Europe, I'm going to probably do, probably 3 or 4 tracks just because of the opportunities to get there. It's kind of like if you make it to the United States, we'll have to hit up a few tracks just because, it's not like you can afford to make these travel all that often, But by the way,
absolutely.
Quaxton is on track, so let's.
There we go.
There he is, Quaxton Martin, right there. That is
Quaxton Martin.
That is so clever.
Jones.
I love that. Right as we get to the end of the warm-up session, but yeah, Quaxton Martin. Yeah, that's the best.
It's a good play on words for that car, I won't lie, and that's a little bit of creativity and touch that we've gotten here. at the Grid Up Sim Racing GT Challenge. Nice to see that. A couple of other cool liveries that we'll see out on the circuit racing tonight. Like Jim mentioned, we do have one of our higher countings of participants here tonight, a total of 18 cars on grid, evenly split between GT3 and GT4, so 9 in each class coming in tonight. It's going to be quite a fierce competition for the top spots because Jacob Reed is going to be alongside Chandler English, our championship leader, all the way down at 6 at the moment. Into P3, which is row number 2 of your starting grid, is going to be the likes of Jason Hayden in the Ford Mustang, and then Javi Sierra in the 296 Ferrari in P number 4. P5, Terry Cantwell, and then there we have our championship leader of Alexander Cortez. So himself and Jacob Reed have been quite tight so far through these past couple of rounds. So let's see what he can do to try and recover from back there. Nick Marshall in 7th in the McLaren, and then Faraz Ibrahim in P number 8. P number 9, and coming in strong there for Eric Richter. That is going to be in the 296 as well. And then the first of the GT4s of Edward Foster in the Aston Martin Vantage for P10. P11 coming in is Mark Prince in the Ford Mustang, and then Adam L. Jones, the Quaxton Martin, there in P12. P13, Andrew Fabian in the Ford Mustang as well, and then Bradley Lovings in his lawn mower Porsche Cayman GT4. Xavier Williams a bit further behind in P15 alongside David Shreve in the Ford Mustang as well. A little bit of front engine fighting out there in row number 8. Row 9 for Mason Howington in the Ford Mustang, and then Brandon Berg in P18, your final car on today's grid here at the Grid Up GT Challenge. Coming in for round number 5 for a good quick 1.5 hours. It's in the retrospect of the things, it's a very short time to be out on track, not a long time if you have to ask me for endurance racing. We've been doing quite a couple of long distance myself and Jim, and so an hour and a half is quite a mere quick run around here around the circuit. Our gantry lights are officially out, and those 2 McLarens up at the top will be leading the charge. Jacob Reed and Chandler English, and the lights are officially out, and away we go. The 2 McLarens are ready, gonna get the pull on the rest of the grid behind. Jason Hayden and Javi Sierra are now going to feel the counter there on the inside. Here comes Alexander Cortez looking to make 2 positions up in one corner. He decides to pull out though the championship leader and instead play it rather safe. He's got quite a bit of a distance ahead of him there. The 2 McLarens do indeed stay in the same format, and looks like all 9 GT3s have not changed up whatsoever, except for the likes of Terry Cantwell losing out of position to Alexander Cortez there. Adam Jones has made a terrible mistake there for the Quaxton Martin. He's down 4 spots already at the start of the race, and that is unfortunate there for the Quaxton. Obviously, he's made a bit of a quack up, if you get the joke, and he's a little bit further down and will be behind David Shreve now. But in the grand scheme of things, not too bad of a start, and all our cars are still pointing forward.
I mean, he's still on track, so that's cracking. Quacking.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's going to be bad. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be real bad.
Yeah, it's going to happen, folks. I apologize now.
In any case, though, with the Quaxton Martin back there, Bradley Lovings, he's in the lawnmower car. I don't think it's an actual lawnmower livery, but myself and Jim know him from another league, and he races the lawnmower vehicle there, and he's quite frequently eating up some grass on the motion rig, bounces him around all over the place. Currently holding off 5th, though, at the moment to Andrew Fabian just up ahead. David Shreve will be behind, and then there's the Quaxton, who will look to recover on this race. Up in front, though, what a pull-off Jacob Reed has gotten. Unfortunately for Chandler English, he's lost out to 2nd spot there. Jason Hayden has taken it away now, and this has allowed for Jacob Reed to pull away. It's already a 1.6 second gap for Jacob Reed here, and looks like he's just going to continue to put the legs on that 720S and get away from the rest of the grid here. Alexander Cortez, our championship leader, still down in 5th and unable to get past Javi Sierra, although he does have a good opportunity coming down into Alf, but decides to tuck back in. The top spots, though, here, Jim, are the GT3s, looking quite fierce to make some moves in this early part of the race.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, anyway. Somewhat, I think they're settling in, getting their tires up to temperature. Again, it's, overall, it's not a very long race, but an hour and a half. That's going to give them some time to to settle in and then make their moves. I think no need to rush and get crazy right off the bat, which I actually like to see. Nothing drives me nuts more than somebody having a first lap stupid dive in an endurance race. It couldn't be anything any dumber than that. As we're back on board here with Bradley Lovings, and he's trying to make a move on these guys. I think that's like maybe a snake paint scheme or something on there. It looks like maybe yeah, it looks like some kind of scales or something. Yeah,
it looks like some kind of tiles with some yellow gappings in between. Although I like the mix-up with the purple wheels, a little bit of creativity and spice on that car as well.
This is tame by his standard for color schemes.
Exactly, actually true.
He gets some pretty loud. The lawnmower paint scheme is one of the tamer ones he runs. To be fair,
but I see he's not alone. It's not the only one on the grid.
No,
Brandon Berg is joined.
Yeah, Brandon Berg is also from the OGRL, and to be. I guess full disclosure, when I joined iRacing, we got a change up here with Javier and
the dive, yeah. That's Cortez.
Yeah, Cortez. Yeah. The first league I joined was OGRL, and I didn't have a lot of experience, especially in GT3 cars at that point. I was still racing like the MX5s and Formula Vs but I wanted to get out of officials, so I joined this league, and Bradley Lovings is one of the admins over there, and he's like, well, how do you handle yourself in a GT3? And I'm like, I'm okay, and I probably hadn't driven one, probably didn't have 5 hours in one at that point, and and actually Bradley Lovings is the guy who convinced me to start broadcasting.
There you hear the origins of stories where Jim has come from, and he's lost it. Yeah, that's through Worth.
Yeah, let's see what
happened.
And
looks like he's ran wide, possibly, and touched a little bit of gravel on the right-hand side. There's a little bit of gravel tap there, but that wasn't enough to spin the car around. So this is possibly on the outside. Just too aggressive in. Bit of a snap coming in from the 720S there, and not much he could have done to
based on, and you'll appreciate this. Based on the way that car snapped, my guess is he got in there hot, realized it hit the brake, and the brake bias there was not set to turn the car at that kind of pace with it already turning, and it just snapped it around. I have to say,
I think he came in a little bit.
I love this corner compared to. That's a pretty aggressive little move there.
Yeah, that's up on the inside. Good move there from Lovings.
With the Mustang with the rooster on it, or the angry rooster, I think it is.
Angry rooster. Yeah, indeed, chasing onto the backside of Lovings there. That 720S just, I think, came in way too hot, and then, like you say, realized it a bit too late. The rear diff completely locked up with that brake bias, and trying to come into the corner, the force feedback of the wheel starts to feed information to you. You try counter said information, and it's just too much happening in one corner, and that's enough to take the car out. Jacob Reed on an absolutely flyer of a lap, 8/10 faster than everybody else in that previous. That's his fastest on the grid right now, 142 flat, so he is absolutely sending it at the moment. This is on board with Fabian down in 5th position, chasing onto the backside here of Bradley Lovings. Lovings just got ahead though in that tiled green Porsche, and seeing if he can chase onto Xavier Williams up in front. Let's see what they can do. The pack here, the fight for third, is neatly nice and close. Unfortunately, for the top spots there, the GT4s, you can see Edward Foster ran a little bit away. So this is the battle for second at the moment. Mark Prince leads it to Xavier Williams, Bradley Lovings, and Andrew Fabian. David Shreve is unfortunately 1.4 down. Who's that? That's Mark Prince, who's just completely fallen off the grid there, and he's actually going to lose to Shreve as well. That was a very, very odd issue that came in there from the Zippo Mustang, and seems like he's overcorrected again. It looks like the same issue with the 720S. Came in a little bit too hot on the exit of the corner, tried to catch it, and then possibly just fed too much.
He got out on the gravel there. He ran wide and dropped that right side off into that gravel, and the rear end broke loose as soon as he did. And now he's got Quaxton Martin breathing down his neck. So good. I'm going to laugh every time I say that all day, I think.
Yeah, Adam Jones currently down in 7th position, and this is the Quaxton who has not had the best of recoveries yet so far in this race, seeing what he can do. But unfortunately, it's not looking too good at the moment for the car. So let's hope to see something a little bit better for Adam Jones in this race. Xavier Williams currently on the outside. They have Bradley Lovings. This is heading up into turn number 1. Heading into the final corner here of New Holland. And then we will head back into Alf. That was a good overtake, though. And here is back onto your live racing. Mark Prince on the backside of his teammate, David Shreve. The two Zippo Mustangs putting pressure on each other here, 8 minutes into the race. And then the Quaxton just behind, seeing what he can do in terms of damage control. Xavier Williams will feel the pressure now from Andrew Fabian. Those drivers up in front, hyper competitive with each other as well.
Bradley Lovings is he's up 4 spots. He and Xavier Williams are the 2 biggest movers in the race. They're kind of working their way up through the field together. Both of them are having a really nice run here.
Yeah, really good run coming in yet for those drivers. Look at that biggest movers there. I mean, Xavier Williams up 4, Bradley Lovings up 4. They've done monumental movements up on, like you've said. Mark Prince and Adam Jones are the reason they're up so far, unfortunately, as well. Mark Prince down 4, Adam Jones down 4 at the moment. So they're trying to work their way back up. Chandler English down 6 positions. And then, unfortunately, Eric Richter never actually took to the grid. So that is only 8 cars in the GT3 standings of things.
Let's see what happened here.
Like
yeah, you know, anytime I say that, it's usually not good.
No, not good. Oh, Brandon Berg. And, just too much.
Not too
pushing
bad,
into the corner. Snaps out the rear. But looks like he was quite alone on track in any case. So it doesn't look like anyone was around to take him out.
No, that's no harm, no foul there. You know, I mean, again, long race, you know, plenty of time to make up for any of these mistakes that happen. But, you know, one of the great things about this series, I love what they're doing over here, I have to say. This is, like I said, first year of this league, and this whole first season was really I don't know if it's the first year for the league, but it's the first year for the all endurance series. And I love the fact that they're really open to letting people come in and learn how to endurance race and you know, kind of get your feet wet, because you know, I think there are a lot of people that want to join officials and stuff maybe, but they don't because they're intimidated, you know, to jump into these endurance races. They don't have a lot of experience, you know, maybe they don't know how to transfer drivers with a teammate. You know, you can come here and do all of that and nobody's judging, you know, it is what it is. And, well, the only thing we're judging is if you have a really cool paint scheme. But other than that, no, nobody's judging anything. These two are here having a heck of a battle on track, by the way. I didn't want to cut away from it, but yeah, look at this. Nice battle.
Yeah, this is, nice little battle coming in. Yeah, this is Fabian and Xavier Williams. It looks like Fabian is actually going to get ahead now into the next corner, and great move there up for third position and running a little bit wide there. Yeah, a little bit wide there from Williams at the moment. One thing to mention, though, Bradley Lovings has climbed the boards here. He's into second and putting pressure on the GT4 leader here. So the Porsche came in up in the second spots there for Lovings, really starting to find confidence out on circuit. Those purple tires are doing him a good justice there. And let's see what he can do on the back of the 53 here of Edward Foster. This could be a good little battle that we get to see with the 16 and the 53 on the rear wing there of Edward Foster. You can see the Porsche is slowly but surely getting closer here, so we might be seeing an imminent battle. Adam Jones gets himself a yellow flag, so that's a slowdown that he's going to have to serve, unfortunately.
You can only hope to contain Quaxton Martin.
Exactly. It's actually right. It's advantage, right? With the Quaxton advantage, right? Advantage, right? So it's probably got like a V8, some kind of V8 supercharged engine under there, but it has to be nerfed to work in the GT4 regulations. So yeah, exactly. Adam Jones has to slow himself down a bit there. Mark Prince also gets himself a yellow flag, and that's for the Mustang down in 6th position.
He's running some of that freedom horsepower, so.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to let the horses roam free and allow them to escape a bit. So a little bit of yellow flag here or there ain't going to hurt nobody. So he's going to have to serve that one. He's already done it. And we'll continue moving on here. Here's a bit of a battle as well. This is still Xavier Williams and Andrew Fabian. These two back and forth at it. And the issue here, Jim, is that the more fighting that happens with Xavier Williams, it's putting a huge gap on Bradley Lovings. And look at the gap that Bradley Lovings has got behind him now, 3.5 seconds. And this has just given him ample room to fight with the leader.
Yeah, they can get up here and mix it up a little bit and don't have to panic about, somebody breathing down their neck right away. I got a feeling this is going to be a good all race kind of battle here between these two. Foster driving that Aston Martin. To be honest with you, I haven't broadcast a lot of GT4 races in, say, maybe like the past 3 iRacing seasons or so. I'm not even sure what the meta cars are these days in GT4.
Yeah. Yeah, I also don't know. I mean, I feel like they're all roughly kind of balanced. I don't think there's as yeah. No, I mean, I think I'm on the same page as you here. I think it's a bit of an unknown for me, but I don't think it variates as bad as the GT3 class does.
Well, of course, now these are, if I'm not mistaken, this is an open setup league. So in open setups, in fixed setups, in the GT3s, the Mustangs are just absolutely dominant. You and I broadcast a series on Tuesday evenings, American time, and it's a fixed setup league, and it's some extremely high iRating guys, like literally, the upper echelon, 10,000 iRating type guys, and every guy in the field, with the exception of one, drives a Ford Mustang. I mean, it's literally that dominant, as we see Lovings there taking over first place. Interesting to see Bradley driving a GT4. We know him well for driving GT3s. And he was a Porsche guy for the longest time, so it is good to see him back in a Porsche. And to be fair, it's been a while since I've driven GT4s, but the Cayman was always one of my favorite cars in the GT4 class. It really was.
Yeah, it is a really nice car. I'm used to seeing him in an Audi, so this is a displeasing vision for me, seeing him in a Porsche.
Especially for you, yeah.
Exactly.
Big Audi fan
but,
that you are.
In any case, he's doing well in the Porsche, and he's really been able to put himself up at the top spots there. The battle here with Fabian.
No, I was going to say, go back to real quick to that GT3 thing that we were talking about, as these two stay on each other here. But in an open setup, it seems that the Mustangs aren't quite as dominant as they are in the fixed setup league. I know that the Ferraris have been really strong in the open setup splits that I've seen, and the McLarens have been pretty strong as well, I think.
Well, I mean, we spoke to a couple of the drivers in said league with the high dominant grid of the Mustangs, and I mean, they literally told us straight the only way to actually nerf the current BOP of the Mustang GT3 is to have open setups to allow for the other cars to be somewhat competitive. And I mean, we're seeing that result here because there's only 2 Mustangs and they're not doing any kind of dominatory work. I mean, Faraz Ibrahim down in 6th position. He's also trying to fend it out with the Porsches and the McLarens. It's good to see that there's a little bit more open, mid-engine cars in this race, and it's still a weird percentage to see there's more mid-engine cars in this league with 9 drivers in the pro class than in that specific league with 30 people, and there's only like 1 or 2 mid. So I mean, that just shows you what open setups do.
I don't have any issues on my channel with stating the league name. It's the Foxteca, the league by Foxteca, broadcast on Apex Racing TV. I'm not one of those people that, I can't say another, I mean, this is a very small community, and a lot of us work for several different people, and we kind of all bounce around a little bit, and it's a great league. It's a money league. I mean, they pay, but you got to be quick, because there's some fast guys in that league. It's insane. To be honest, we have a pro and an AM race that we do each Tuesday night, and the AM racing is much more fun than the pro racing, at least in my opinion. I'm sure you would agree, though. The pros, when they're that good, they just don't make mistakes, and they're patient, and they wait to find a spot, and it's, there's no dives or send it or any of that kind of stuff.
Contemplatable. There's a couple of pro drivers there that
there are a couple, yes, but I mean, it's tough. Let's see, we've got some action going on. Oh, look at this mess here. We got This is
That's a
lap
huge overtake
traffic,
there
yeah.
for Cortez. Yeah, and I mean he's able to get ahead of. Well, Javi's already been behind Alexander for a while, but it looks like a couple more drivers have lost out there because Cortez is up into third here. And like I mentioned earlier on, Cortez is chasing to get back up to the top spots here. He is the championship leader at the moment in the point standings, and so he does want to get up to P1 here to capitalize on the most amount of points. So Jason Hayden and Jacob Reed up ahead. That's a 4-second gap he's got to work with here. And Javi Sierra has kind of stuck on him the entire time. We are well into traffic though at the moment. The GT4s are being lapped now by the GT3s,
That's
and so
fast.
this is going to sift through. Yeah, that is quick. That is quick. I can't lie to you. I mean, what has it been? 18 minutes?
Yeah, we're
already
10
seeing
laps. I mean, and we're already seeing cars getting lapped, and we're not talking about bag markers. I mean, we're talking about that was third and fourth place respectively in the GT4 division that just got passed there. So yeah, it's happening pretty fast around here.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the lap times, I mean, the fastest GT3 out on the field is Jason Hayden at the moment. That's a 1:41.7. The fastest GT4 currently on the field looks to be the likes of Bradley Lovings with a 52.8. So it's a rough 11 seconds that the GT3s are faster each lap. So yeah, I mean, they're catching quite quick.
They really are. As you can see, I just switched over to the to show the last lap times there. You can see the disparity between the two. You know, and the thing is, the most recent change they made to the GT4s, which I guess was about 3 iRacing seasons, maybe, yeah, I guess probably 3 iRacing seasons ago now. They took away some aero on the GT4 cars, and in doing so, they also changed the tire model on them at the same time. But by taking away the aero, it made the cars tougher to drive, especially in the corners, but it also made them faster on the straightaways. So there are, you know, the disparity on the straights is not as dramatic as it is as it used to be, because these GT4s now they don't have as much aero pushing them down, so they tend to be a little quicker on the straightaway than they used to be. I got a feeling these two are going to go all race long. I really do.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like Williams and Fabian are on a bit of a similar streak here in terms of how they're taking each corner. And they are not letting each other go. So, I mean, that's good for us, though. It means that there's going to be continuous bit of challenging happening here or there. And combine that with a bit of the traffic like we see happening now with, I believe, that is either Jacob Reed or the likes of Chanda English.
I think that's going to be English. Yeah, that's English.
Chanda English down in 7th. Yeah, indeed it is. Moving into 7th. A good point, though, that we get to mention here. So the 60% fuel cap is actually the exact same as that said, the league by Fox Tech that we do on Tuesday night. And so we can use that to somewhat guess when the drivers are going to be coming in. Roughly the 35-minute mark is going to be the point of jumping in to get your car serviced and get some new fuel in the tank. I think 35 minutes in is too early to get any kind of tires changed. These tires can usually go for about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes in a GT3 car. So they'll probably try. I don't know if anyone's going to try and run their tires to the end of this race.
Well,
I feel like it's going to be a little bit close, but we'll see.
I don't know the answer to this. To be honest, I didn't ask this question, and I probably should have. But as of the last season update with iRacing, they changed the way these GT cars fuel and tire. It used to, you could get tires and fuel at the same time, and now, I believe that is an option. Yeah, because I know several leagues now that have adopted the new rules, which means that you have to take tires separate from fuel. So if you're going to get, say, 15 seconds worth of fuel, and then you want to do a 4-tire change, you're talking about another 22-ish seconds for the tires. So, but now this, I don't know which set of rules this particular league is running, since they did start prior to that rule set becoming available. But for example, I have two GT3 leagues that both started again this week back, and they're both running the new rules now, which is tires and fuel separate.
Yeah, so it's the same system then that LMU has currently got, the way the time doesn't kind of morph into each other. Like, basically, for example, if you're spending 30 seconds in the pit lane refueling, and let's say changing two tires only takes 15 seconds, your total time is not going to be 30 seconds, it's going to be 45 seconds.
Right.
So basically stack on top of each other instead of being done at the same time. So that's definitely going to prove to be a little bit more interesting, because that means the strategy gateway opens up even more with how much time drivers are wasting in the pit lane and whether or not that tire change is going to be worth it in this race.
Right, and protecting your tires now becomes even more valuable because of the additional amount of time that it takes to change them. So I personally, at first when I heard about it, I wasn't really excited about it, but in hindsight, I think it's probably pretty cool. You know, I like it. I think it makes people protect your tires a little more. You know, you just don't have the option to just throw on some new tires and not really have a penalty from it, you know. So I like
exactly.
it. I think that's pretty cool.
I also actually tend to agree. I mean, like I said, it's the same system that LM uses, and myself and Jim, that's actually our primary sims for racing outside of broadcasting and commentating. We're very active on the iRacing scene with voices and cameras, but in terms of using a steering wheel, the LMU platform is where we are mainly found, and that's the system that they use there. So quite acquainted to that system now. Yeah, not gonna lie to you, I also do like it. It really does play into strategy, and like you say, the biggest factor coming into this is tire management becomes slightly more important, because if you don't manage those tires and you start to push a little bit harder behind some of these drivers, it means that the chance of you having to come in to change tires before the end of the race is going to increase in terms of percentage, and that is then going to result in added time inside of a pit stop. That could ruin your race, it could ruin P1, it could ruin a podium. So it's all factors that the drivers now have to consider. Obviously the track is nice and cool for today's racing in this hour and a half, but take a consideration if we're on like maybe 35, 36 degrees Celsius track with like maybe a 50 degrees Celsius circuit, that's when tire management becomes absolutely non-optional.
Yeah, I agree. The whole sequence with the tire thing, I just think it adds another element to it, and that's the beauty of endurance racing in general. Is, you know, it's not these sprints and you just dart out there and do your thing. You know, you have to put some thought into saving your tires and a fuel strategy. You know, if you're going to have a short pit stop, do you take the lighter fuel load at the beginning to make yourself quicker when the cars are closer together? So maybe you make up a few extra spots in the beginning. You know, I just love the fact that there is that kind of that kind of time or that kind of strategy consider. Yeah.
Has there been a change up?
No, but they're back and forth at each other, but they just had a little body contact there, which would indicate to me that maybe they're starting to get a little irritated with each other, because it wasn't like corner body contact where maybe, you know, you wash up a little bit and hit the guy on the outside of you. This was down the straightaway. They bumped each other, which is indicating to me that that's somebody sending a message saying, hey, you know, back off, you know, this is getting annoying. Let me see. Let's see. This might show it here.
A little bit of frustration might be building between these two. I mean, they have been at it basically for the last half an hour.
Look.
Oh, it looks like a little bit of kind of like a drift out there from Fabian, kind of just pointing a little bit right.
I don't know.
Yeah, but could possibly be. I mean, the last thing I want is for this to end in a wreck, you know, between these two.
No. This has got to go the whole race. This is going to be one of those battles that we're going to literally be on the whole race. Everybody is kind of gapped out a little bit. That's honestly, of all the races that I've done in this series, we always have had battles. Even with the shorter fields and stuff, there was never a lack for excitement. And of course, we got a nice one going here, a good one, and it's been that way in this series. There's always been a couple of good battles, but I would say today there's a little bit more maybe of spacing out of the cars, at least now anyway. It doesn't mean they won't kind of come back together, but as we see here, riding on board with Jacob Reed here, first place, and got about a 2-second lead. You can see looking behind him there. Take a look. You can see second place back there behind him.
Yeah, second place is slowly starting to catch there of Jason Hayden. I mean, Jacob Reed has been on a bit of a runaway in this race so far. I mean, he built up, about 3.5, 4 seconds of a gap up in first. It's gone all the way down to 2 seconds now. So I don't know if he's become a little bit too comfortable at the top there, Jim, that he's slowly started to lose out. The last lap time, quite frankly, Jason Hayden was actually better in those previous couple of corners, and so that his previous lap time was better. Apologies than Jacob Reed's, but like you say, he could potentially be saving some life on those tires. You can see it there, lap 12, 13, and 14. Jason Hayden has been faster than Jacob Reed, and so a little bit slower on 15 and 16. But overall, he is still somewhat catching on the P1 driver. Alexander Cortez, your fastest right now, 1:41.6, an incredibly quick time there in the Mercedes. And seeing if he can possibly reduce the gap to the top two in this race. Coming up to half an hour, that is your first third of this 1.5 hour done. That's how quickly it goes, unfortunately. And that we will start to see a couple more fights. You can see that the tank is got about 25% left here for most of our drivers. Jason Hayden with about 25% left, so he should be coming in the next, I would say, anywhere between the next 10 to 15 minutes. He'll be jumping into the box and getting that car nice and serviced up. But yeah, like you said, Jim, I mean, even the previous ones where we've had even less, like what was the lowest we've had, like 6 or 5 GT3s. There's always been like 1 or 2 battles out on the circuit. And unfortunately for this time around, you can see from 1st to 8th, there is no yellow or orange number figures. It is all just white number figures. And that represents over a second between the drivers. So not much of a battle going on at the moment between either of them. The GT4 seem a little bit close in it, but I think that's just because GT4 racing in general is a little bit closer than GT3, and that's because they've got a lot less aerodynamics, so there's a lot less speed they can gain through corners, a little bit more through the straights, like Jim said, a little bit of an update to these cars, and so they're able to stick with each other a little bit better. Bradley Lovings, though.
I don't know if Bradley has had a bit of a incident or...
He might have, yeah. He's lost.
Yeah, because he's lost, 9
seconds.
I'm sorry?
Oh, that's the GT3. Yeah. Sorry, I looked at the metric at the bottom.
Yeah, I was about to change that to you. Panicked me there for a second, but no. But you can see he lost almost a second there on lap 14.
Yeah, lap 14.
So chances are he might have had a little bit of maybe an off-track moment or a little real loose moment or something like that he had to correct, But that's good. We love good. We love a little battle, which I think these two are also going to be. They seem to be of a similar pace, so I think we're going to get a good battle all day. And by the way, if you're out there watching, feel free to comment in our virtual grandstand. There, we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have, or if you just need to see more of Quaxton Martin, if that's what you need.
Yeah, I don't think we could ever deny a request to see more Quaxton Martin.
No,
that's criminal, man. We've got to let the people see what they want, and to see that car down in where's the Quaxton right now? Down 14th at the moment.
Yeah,
that's 6th in class that he's fighting. But yeah, Bradley Lovings has lost out on that cushion up at the top, and I'm hoping to see a battle here for P1. That will be a good amount of entertainment for us to see how that's going to go. The top spots, though, for Jacob Reed and Jason Hayden is also continuously coming down lap by lap. It's down to 1.7 now. So hopefully we get a GT3 battle coming in before the pit stop. So although it might seem unlikely, as we'll possibly look at a fuel gauge shortly on the GT3s to see how they are looking before they jump into the box. But Bradley Lovings is feeling that pressure because Edward Foster again last lap, Jim, a tenth and a half faster. So he is finding speed on the around the track that unfortunately Bradley Lovings is not finding. His only lap that he actually caught up was down lap 13. The rest of the lap so far from 14 to 17, he's been losing out to Edward Foster here, and that is putting endless pressure on the poor Porsche Cayman up at the top. So we will see a bit of a fight coming shortly as they head into the Repsol Bridge and into the second sector of this race circuit. And
So,
yeah, good little bit of fighting.
We got a nice second battle here, and then of course, oh, who is it? Oh, yep. I'll tell you what.
Ibrahim. Yeah.
Let's we'll turn this catch thing off for now, and we'll put our pit lane timer up. That'll let us know when somebody comes in and how long they take on pit road and in the pit box, which for those of you who may not be familiar with this little graphic at the bottom here, that shows Ibrahim is in the pits, and the active time you see ticking now is from the moment he crosses the entry line to the moment he crosses the exit line. And the 24.8 second time, that is the amount of time he spent sitting in his pit box. Which 24.8 seconds is a pretty significant pit stop, to be honest with you. What's your take on that? Do you have one?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we saw him going up on the jacks there. We now see Bradley Lovings coming in as well, so he's decided to jump in the Porsche. But yeah, 24.8 seconds. I don't know how long it actually takes to fill up 60% in the GT3s and whether or not Ibrahim felt the need to swap out for tires. I genuinely don't think so. 34 minutes into this race, I think it's way too soon. And
okay.
Up on the jacks,
They are swapping tires. So what that tells me is that they're still running the old rules where you can do tires and fuel together, which would make sense considering that this league started under those rules. So yeah, we're seeing them. They're starting to come in now. We just saw Xavier Williams come in, and now we also have Javi Sierra in, so we're starting to see
He's not doing tires though. That's Xavier Williams. He's staying flat on the floor, so he's not taking tires. He should though. That's a little bit of an advantage he's going to lose out on.
Well, I think at this point, maybe you take a quick pit stop for fuel on this one, and then you get your tires on your next pit stop. And that way you have fresh tires for the last, roughly. Oh, that curb almost got him there.
A little bit tied with the traffic management coming here. This is Jacob Reed up at the top. He's still leading off strong. Jason Hayden, I don't know if something's happened there, Jim, because he's lost all the way from 1.6 down to 4 seconds again. So he definitely has made an error somewhere. I don't think the top two have not come into pit just as of yet. So Jason Hayden has definitely dropped somewhere off on the track, or something has possibly happened that he's generated such a large lead again.
Let's see. There's a pass here. Oh, that was, I guess, when he passed somebody on pit road. No.
Oh no, this is on. That's on Alexander Cortez on the inside. Yes. So did Cortez come out of pit lane? It looked like he did, but
I don't show that he's pitted on the timing.
Yeah, I know. So I wonder if there was an error. Somebody. This is weird. Very weird to be seeing the huge gap that Jacob Reed has once again gotten. So I don't know if we can pull up that the lap delta timer graphic at the bottom. That can maybe show us.
We potentially could do that. Let's see here.
Let's see potentially versus Jacob Reed versus Jason Hayden to see if there was a lap he maybe made a mistake and lost out on quite a lot of time. That will give us some clear indication where this has gone wrong for the driver. But it looks like something happened to Alexander Cortez as well. This is with Jason Hayden and Cortez.
I'm just looking at his lap times there. Well, you can see on lap 20 he was 2 seconds.
45,
Yeah, so he was over 2 seconds slower on that lap. So that's where it happened. We just got to figure out, and that was on lap 20. I don't see anything that would indicate that as far as where he had a problem. As these two,
bit of a strange one.
It is strange. I'm going to keep digging.
Now he's got
the
pressure. Yeah, he's got the pressure now from Cortez, which is also going to be quite a bit of a fierce one because Cortez, like we said, is chasing on for the lead of this race to try and extend his championship position. But now he's got to try and get ahead of Jason Hayden. So the two of them are going to be fighting it out quite strongly over the next couple of laps. Chandler English has moved back up into fourth, but I think it's because the rest have come into pit. And now these two are also going to jump into the pit lane. Our race leader, though, Jacob Reed, deciding that the air is nice and clean in front of him, and he's going to stay out for another lap. These two behind, though, have decided, even though with all the fighting that they're currently doing, let them rather pull into the pit lane. They'll both get some fuel into the car, potentially go up on the jacks, and then they will get back out onto the circuit. This is Terry Cantwell, a driver who started in 5th position, currently down in 6th position, so only 1 spot lost, holding it out down in 6th position in the Porsche 992 there, seeing what he can do against Javi Sierra, and that's a little bit further up, 1 minute and 11 seconds up on the grid.
Well,
so quite a long shot off.
Where Sierra's gonna, where this is all going to shake out when the top 4 cars come out of pit road here, as he's coming down the pit straight now, and he's starting to pass these guys that were in pit road, and he's coming out behind 2nd and 3rd place there.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see where he pops out as Chandler English now jumps into the pit lane. Jacob Reed still yet to pit, and so we'll see once he jumps in. Javi Sierra, though, is right on the rear there of Alexander Cortez, as you can see, about 1.9 seconds. The time you're seeing on the timing screen right now is to the leader, not intervals.
Yes.
So this is actually a current fight. So Cortez has just gone ahead of Jason Hayden there through Repsol, so a good little move to get himself up into 2nd. Now we see the live timings board there. So Jason Hayden just under 5/10, Javi Sierra just behind as well. So now Jacob Reed is going to jump into the box. We'll see if the strategy of his has worked out to go the overcut route, or rather stay out for a bit longer in the clean air, or if this is going to potentially throw him under the bus here. That is going to be the cider here, but I think he's so far ahead right now. These three are only heading up to Lakaiksa now. And our race leader is already well into his pit stop, over 25 seconds. We're looking at a rough amount of time, around 50 seconds total in pit road, including the actual pit box timer. So they are now currently heading up towards New Holland, the final corner. This is going through Europe car. And then towards New Holland, our race leader is still in the pit box at the moment. He has not left his box. There, he's now left his box and going to be exiting the pit lane as it stands. These two are heading onto the main straight now out of New Holland, but unfortunately the race leader is already back out on track heading into Alf. So that is a huge gap that Jacob Reed has actually advantaged himself with, and we'll see once the time slows itself down back to a standard ratio. It's roughly 9 seconds ahead here, Jim. So Jacob Reed has done a phenomenal job at extending the lead.
He has indeed. As I like that paint scheme. Got the little American flag over the hood. Well, okay. Do y'all say bonnet where you're from? Yeah, you say bonnet, right? Or you don't? You say hood?
Bonnet,
yeah. Yep, over the hood and roof and trunk of the car. What do you call the rear? What do you call that? The boot? Interesting.
A boot, yeah, a boot.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But I'll tell you what we have gotten, though. We have, after these pit stops, we have developed a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place battle now between these guys. And as we see, that's Brandon Berg there going into pit road. The only reason I knew it was he's not, but it's Berg because he doesn't have the pink wheels that Bradley Lovings has.
It's only a real differentiator.
Everybody has completed their pit stops. Jacob Reed was the last one to pit. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. We got this 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place battle brewing here a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, that gap has come down slightly between Reed and Cortez. I think Cortez is on a mission here. It's gone from 8.8 to 7.3. So definitely on a bit of a streak here. I think Reed may have swapped out tires, and so he spent a couple of laps on cold tires, which is why he's dropped so quickly. But it does indeed look like Cortez is chasing on. We were on that weird topic, though, of different name callings for specific things according to culture or country. Another weird one I've got to say from my side, Jim. You know the thing when you stop at an intersection that turns red and green and orange? Like, what do
Yes.
you guys call that your side?
Well, it could be called a stoplight or a
Okay.
traffic light. Yeah, stoplight
Okay.
mostly, I guess. I think that's even regional in the United States. You know.
Okay, so in South Africa, that is called a robot.
What?
So, yeah, that's very, very strange. Very, very strange, but they're
So-
called a robot.
Can you explain?
Oh, this is getting close between the top three, though. No, I can't explain. I don't think I can, actually. Sometimes you call them a traffic light. I mean, I think that's pretty generalized across the entire world. But yeah, the proper South African name is a robot, like you are approaching the robot. Very strange.
That's interesting. Yeah, for sure. What's funny is we had this conversation the other day, pre-race Tuesday night. We were talking, and I jokingly said, "Let me take a drink from my sippy cup," and then we established that no matter. Well, at least in South Africa and in America, a sippy cup is, you know, what we give kids with the little hard straw where it doesn't spill if they throw it on the floor or drop it or whatever. And apparently that is universal with, at least with South Africa, which I thought was kind of interesting too. But yeah, it is entertaining sometimes to you know, like I'll say bonnet now because I work with so many British and, you know, commentators and you know, South African, and I'll say bonnet and my friends will look at me like I'm absolutely crazy. They're like, what?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I could ever call it a trunk and a hood. That just doesn't sound right to me, you know?
I mean, I get
bonnet,
that it
bonnet and
doesn't,
boot, you know?
but it is, you know, I don't know. It's been a thing. That's funny though. But I've picked up a lot of sayings from, you know, from working with people from all over the world. You know, like argy bargy.
Yeah, I got to teach you some South African slang. I can't lie. I don't think anybody else in the world can teach South African slang. It's very rare. Argy bargy, I think, is quite generalized with the middle column of the world, Europe and Africa. It's used commonly. Yeah, I don't think America
I
so
thought
much.
that was an Australian term.
Oh no,
argy
it isn't.
bargy.
I think it's very much British in my opinion.
Well, of course, you know, technically most Australians originate, you know.
Oh, black flag for Xavier Williams.
What in the world?
Yeah, that's a drive-through there for Williams. Not sure if that's going to be because of track limits. It doesn't look like he's had contact with anyone. So he looks quite okay down there. So we'll have to see. Wasn't he fighting with Fabian?
Yes,
he's all the way
but
down now in 15th.
Yeah, well,
so.
this happened. So
Okay. That doesn't sound good. I'm not excited to hear what's about to happen. So,
he's-
is this what the GT3? Oh, okay, it's not. So
no contact.
loses it on Repsol
Yeah,
and then goes off track. This is where he gets the 2x from.
yeah.
And was that 2x just enough to throw him into the deep end of a drive-through? I think it
Boy,
was.
it seems awful early to be getting a drive-through, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I wonder if he's made like I think that light contact with Xavier has given him a 4x, and so that 4x is stacked on maybe a couple of 2x's he received across the circuit
typically
from
you
touching
don't
the
get-
gravel.
If you have a contact and then you run off track to reposition the car, typically you don't pick up a second, like, you know, if you get a 4x, you usually don't get a 2x when you're riding the car, you know, not normally anyway. I don't know. That's, I mean, it's got to be from track limit. I mean, it's got to be from incident points. That's all it could be. It's, you know, because he didn't just pit. So there's, you know, it had to be from incident points.
Yeah, definitely would have had to be from something like that. This is the bit of a fight that's going on between the top three at the moment for the final spot of the podium, actually, for the GT3s. Cortez has gotten 1.1 seconds ahead. You can see him there just in the Mercedes. But now, Javi Sierra in the 296 is feeling pressure from Jason Hayden. He wants to get back up towards second, where he was positioned before the pit stops happened. So he's currently 3/10 behind Javi Sierra and potentially looking to make an overtake here in the next couple of laps. He is within wall striking distance, but he does need to close it up just a bit more if he wants to dive, especially down into Alf. So you can see the time is going to drop drastically now. He's got the slip. and it's definitely working. It's gone down from 4 all the way to 3.5, but still, it's very, very far away to make the dive. He needs to be at least 1 to 1.5 tenths behind before we can think of that. And so he will stay behind in the Ford Mustang for the time being. Oh, and talking about it, he gets a yellow flag. And so he's going to have to slow down. So all the advantage he just cooked up, he's going to have to throw away.
Maybe. It just depends on where he's, sometimes you can get rid of those without, too much damage. But unfortunately, through this part of the track, which he has gotten rid of it, but yeah, he's lost his gap for sure. So I've got a couple of things here. This is Fabian. We saw what happened to Xavier Williams, who was battling him. Now this has happened after that, and Fabian has gotten sideways and has recovered. No damage, but nevertheless, dropped him down the field as well. Well, I guess he didn't really lose too much on that, but and then also we've got David Shreve here. The old Zippo Mustang lit him up there. You catch what I did there?
Just losing the rear.
Lit him up.
Lit him up, and off he goes into the circuit. Do
you know what a Zippo is?
I'm assuming it's some kind of American brand. I've never heard it yet in South Africa.
Okay, so Zippo is a lighter, like a cigarette or cigar lighter.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
They're not like the disposable kind. They're the kind that you
refill,
and and they're they've been around for forever. Like I don't even know how many years, but 100 maybe. They're kind of old school. Crazy. Yeah, my dad smoked, and he used to always carry a Zippo. It was but
another black flag. That's for the Quaxton.
Quaxton, no. What?
Quaxton's eaten a black flag, I think also from track limits, because he really hasn't had much contact with anyone that's raced. So I think he's just been running wide continuously here and getting those 2Xs, collecting them like Sonic coins. And now he's got himself a black flag. So that is going to have to be a pit stop, run through the pit road, and a little bit of time lost on his timing board. He is going to lose out to David Shreve and possibly even Xavier Williams. I don't think to that extent. I don't think he's actually going to lose to Xavier Williams. He's 40 seconds behind, so quite a while back there, but still unfortunate for him.
I'm trying to... Is it just my imagination, or is it getting darker?
It is. I think we're at the latest stage of the day in this event. I didn't see any on-track time on any of the overlays there, but it is looking like it's closer to the 5 p.m., maybe 6 p.m. side at the circuit right now.
Well, the only way I know that I can get that is if I pop up the in-sim screen thing. What does it say? Sim time is 8:37 p.m.
8:37 p.m.
Yeah, so
that's late at night.
So
actually,
yeah, we're going to finish this race in the dark, which is kind of cool. I mean, that's always gives it an endurance feel,
It's only 40 minutes left to go. Yeah, so that's going to be around roughly 10:09 at night.
Well,
10:09 is actually basically still light in Madrid. So it might be just cuffing on dawn. I'm not going to lie to you. It might just be a little bit of sprinkler light left when we go across the check-in, or it could be complete pitch black darkness. It's also entirely season dependent. I don't know if
he didn't get rid of his black flag.
Oh, he didn't serve it. Why did it not go off?
I don't know. He drove through.
That is... yeah, he did drive through. He didn't even stop in his pit box or anything there, so it couldn't have been declared as a pit stop. But that's unfortunate for the Quaxton. He's going to have to go and...
through. That would have been the worst.
Imagine he gets rid of the black flag, and then on the exit of the pit stop, he gets another black flag.
Or even on the entrance,
It could have been, yeah. The time the sun sets is also dependent on the season, although I don't know if iRacing considers seasons in its time calculator, but... it's also highly dependent on the season of the year, obviously. For example, in South Africa, we're in winter right now. I don't know what it's like in the US at the moment, but
we're opposite because you're in the southern hemisphere and we're in the northern hemisphere.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're in the middle of summer right now here.
Yeah, exactly. So we're in the nice cold. Jim's in the nice hot. And
Yeah,
Madrid
it's
is
definitely hot here.
currently... Yeah, exactly. But well, Madrid is just above the Greenwich Meridian, so they're actually more on the northern side of the equator. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. They will probably be in a mix of like springish side of things right now. But we will see once the sun goes down. Only 40 or so minutes left to go in this race. It's going quite rapidly here in the events for round number 5 here of the GT Challenge for the Grid Up Sim Racing League. David Shreve down in 5th at the moment. He's duking it out with the counterpart Mustang, unfortunately much slower than the one in front of him. That's Jason Hayden.
Yeah.
And so he's going to have to let that Mustang go. You cannot hold on to that one, unfortunately.
I want to follow him down pit road here and just see what's going on.
Yeah, as to why it didn't serve that previous lap, because it should have.
He's getting this is going to be a stop and hold.
Is it a stop and hold penalty that he has to do?
Looks like
it doesn't show. And
I mean, it has to be. He stopped.
It is very, very strange for Adam Jones. So that means it has to
in the box. Watch.
That means it has to have been speeding in or out of the pit lane to get himself a stop go. So he's definitely made an error on that side.
Yeah.
So he's really, going from one of the black flags to another.
I have to say.
Oh my gosh, Jim! I think you got to turn your mic off. I'm not gonna lie. he's real cracked
this
up.
This is coming from the guy who constantly makes 6-7 jokes in the background.
No. I don't make them. I never make them. That is Matthew. I don't ever have the capability to make them because Matthew always uses the tokens, and then we don't have any left. So that's not my problem. But 55 minutes left to go. Jason Hayden is catching up to Javi Sierra here. This is the fight we currently have on the circuit. Unfortunately, it is the only fight we really are able to present to you at the time being. We're waiting for Cortez to chase down on Reed. But unfortunately, for the time being, he's not able to catch up. He is, but it's not rapidly occurring, and he's only got 40 or so minutes left, and he's catching about
another pit stop.
True, that is true. That is definitely true.
Apparently, Mason Howington abandoned his car on pit road, and apparently it blew up because now he has a meatball flag on pit road, so he's blown his car up on pit road.
Mason Howington.
Well, that
I have not even seen.
He changed it in with a driver, I'm sure.
I see. Okay. Very strange. I was about to say I haven't seen that name before, so that's definitely a tag team operation coming in for an hour and a half. That is a very short event to be running tag team operations. It's only about 40 minutes in the car.
It's a place where you can or can't. They give you the option.
True, that is true.
And if you want to practice changing drivers, this is again a great place to do this. I would absolutely encourage anyone who is watching this event and wants to get their feet wet in some endurance racing. This is the shortest event that they have, I believe, is an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I think 2.5 is the longest one, I believe. Now, and we still, well, tell you what, let's take a quick look at the schedule. We can do that while we got some action on track here, as well as we see Hayden coming up and passing Bradley Lovings. So we're here at Barcelona on August 8th, and then we've got a 2-hour event coming up on September the 5th at Suzuka. That's going to be a fun one. And then an hour and a half. I really wish we had 2 hours at Road Atlanta, I have to say. I love Road Atlanta. Then we got 2 hours at Indy, which we could certainly make that one an hour and a half as far as I'm concerned. And I'm just not a fan of the Indy road course. It's okay, but to me, it was the weakest, and this is only the second half of the schedule. Obviously, the other part of the schedule, this is just the second part. And then Sonoma to close out the season with a 2-hour event there. I don't know. I shouldn't hate on Indy like that. I mean, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you could easily argue the most iconic oval in the world. In fact, I think most people would argue that.
Especially people who aren't from America. I'd say anybody watching from outside the country the Indianapolis 500, I think, is the only thing that rings a bell, anything close to NASCAR oval racing.
Yeah, you know, the Indy 500 certainly. I mean, because you had so many great, you know, Formula One drivers and champions that came over to race the Indy 500, you know, through the years. You know, I mean, Fernando Alonso in recent years has done it, but going back to the Jim Clarks and the Graham Hill, yeah, I mean, there's just the list goes on and on. But yeah, it's you know, I'm just not a fan of that. To me, Lovings is in.
Oh, Lovings is in again. Is that an early pit stop?
No, I think he's good, huh? He's got 33 minutes to go. I mean, he should be okay there.
Bit of a strange one then coming from Lovings getting in so early.
Touch early, maybe. I wonder if it's going to be a potential for needing a splash, like a fourth pit stop for them.
Yeah, this could definitely be. I don't know if they're going to have enough to run it to the end here if they're pitting so early. There's still a full half an hour left to go.
Yeah.
As we are about to embark on the final third of this race, 2/3 already passed, 66% done. The last 34% left to go here in this race. Once we hit that 1 hour mark,
they all pitted roughly around, the GT4s pitted around lap 18 or 19. So that would tell you that they would need to pit. Yeah, that's early.
Yeah, that is early. Yeah, a bit of a weird one there coming in from, well, Adam L. Jones had the hiccup there with the drive-through and then the stop go. Now Bradley Loving's coming in with the early pit stop. So it just seems like our GT4s are throwing some blunders around the track that they're going to have to try and work off of. The closest battle on field at the moment is what you see on screen. This is Andrew Fabian, and he's busy chasing down on Mark Price for second spot, and he's caught up a lot through Worth. It looks like Mark Price has actually made an error on corner exit there. He's lost a drastic amount of time, and Andrew Fabian's actually going to be on the attacking stance here coming into La Caixa. He actually might have it if he's able to push on strongly here, but it looks like the Mustang up front of Mark Prince has recovered somewhat, so he's not so slow anymore, but he does still have a big horse on the grill in his rear view camera that he's got to watch out for. Andrew Fabian trying to push a little bit closer on here. Now he's pulling back a little bit, but here comes the inside slingshot as he starts to close down again on the gap. It's almost opening up there as we start to see it break underneath 2/10. And taking very alternative lines, these two, Jim. You can see much wider coming from Mark Prince, and it's left the door open. And what a jump up on the inside there from Andrew Fabian. I thought he was going to wait for the main straight, but does not even look like it. Good move there for Fabian, and he's got a 30-second gap to try chase down on Edward Foster. It's quite far away, but he's got about half an hour to attempt it.
Yeah, we'll see. That was almost a no fight there. I mean, he didn't really put up a tough fight there. Not quite as much as I would have thought he would have. So, you know, maybe he's on a different strategy. Maybe he's saving, or, you know, who knows. I'm confused by Bradley Loving's pitting, you know, at the time that he did. Where is he in one of these chats?
I don't actually know what one of the voice channels. We can have a look to see if he's maybe sitting.
Because he probably wouldn't care if I pulled him up.
He is not at the moment, unfortunately. The rest are, there's quite a couple here. Alex Cortez is there. Andrew Fabian is there. There's quite a couple, but unfortunately, Bradley Lovings is not one of them currently sitting in voice.
Yeah, because he probably wouldn't have an issue with us if we wanted to pull him up, you know, but I don't know. I'm just kind of curious as to what the thought process was there at stopping when he did. Maybe that was his exact pit window, though, and he chose to get it out of the way, you know. Who knows? I mean, we certainly don't have, you know, access to all of that. As we see now, we've got, Berg is in as well.
Yeah, Berg jumping in, and that's all the way down in 15th spots. Mason Howington still in the pit lane after 12 laps, so they switched out long ago, but with that meatball flag, they decided to call it quits, and it doesn't look like they'll be coming back out on the grid. Brandon Berg is already on pit exit, so he'll be jumping out now. as we are officially into the last 28 minutes of this race. It has gone by incredibly quick here for the Barcelona 1.5, the GT Challenge. A little bit faster than a couple of our 2.4s that we've been seeing in the past, and a couple of our 2-hour races like the Elkhart Lake that we had before this. That was a 2-hour event at Road America. This is coming a bit shorter.
I'm a fan of Elkhart Lake. Road America is one of those tracks again. Growing up in America as a fan of road racing. In fact, I'm loading something up now. I'm gonna show you here in just a second. But as I'm going to talk about some of our couple of our new channel sponsors, give those guys a little plug here as we watch some of this action on track out here. We don't really have any tight battles right now going on, so I think probably end up about like last time, which is once these pit stops occur, we had some nice battles there for 20 or 30 minutes following the pit stops, and I think it's probably going to be similar to that again.
Yeah, definitely going to look to be a little bit more similar. And as we come into those final pit stop procedures for this event, the GT3s will probably be coming in one last time in this race. The GT4 is the same result, but those drivers who pitted early for Bradley Lovings and a couple of the others, we're going to have to see where they end up out on circuit, or if this is going to be their final pit stop. If they are staying out now for the race, is something we're going to have a look at. Mark Prince is slowly starting to break down that gap on Andrew Fabian again. That's the battle for 10th position overall, but second in class, so it is important to try and get there. This is on board with Edward Foster, the man who has been untouchable so far this race, 31 seconds up ahead of the rest of the board. Andrew Fabian sits behind him at the moment with a 31-second gap behind. Let's do a quick run of the order of how things are looking up and down the grid as Alexander Cortez is going to jump into the box. Jacob Reed still remains up at the top spots of this race, and he is leading quite strong there for the Grid Up Online team, seeing what he can do to push up further. Alexander Cortez sits second in the Merc. He's jumped into the pit box now, though, and will continue to push on strong. He's currently now down to third. Jason Hayden promoted to second in the Ford Mustang, and he's also been putting a lot of pressure on the rest of our drivers to see if he can potentially get himself a podium spot. Kerry Cantwell has had a bit of a recovery drive here, but I think it might switch up again once the pit stops have all become a done and dusted situation. Chandler English, again, another driver in the beginning of this race who had a bit of a drop-off and did not get the race that they wanted. They currently sit fifth. Then Javi Sierra in the 296, down sixth position. Currently fighting it out with Faraz Ibrahim behind him, putting pressure in the Ford Mustang. So that's in seventh place, seeing what Faraz can do on the backside. And then your final driver for the Pro class, who's currently out on circuit, is Nick Marshall in that blue and green, completely contrasted McLaren. But I love the color scheme. Very nice to see the complete opposites on that car.
Yeah, blue and green kind of goes together anyway. That's a nice, you see, there's several liveries out in the real world these days that are running that Falcon, kind of a blue and green combo.
Yeah, I was going to say the most notable one is Falcon. If you know the Falcon brand with the crossover green and blue, my gosh, those liveries are absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Edward Foster is your leading driver in the AM class, not the AM, sorry, the GT4 class. He's currently 2 laps ahead of the rest of the field. Andrew Fabian will be sitting second in the Ford Mustang, currently holding it out. He will slowly start to feel pressure here from Mark Prince, a bit of a lap traffic there. But Mark Prince is behind in the other Ford Mustang, currently 8 tenths behind, so slowly catching up. And then Bradley Lovings is currently in 12th for the GT4s in that green and purple Cayman GT4, seeing what he can do. David Treve gets himself a yellow flag. That is the 13th spot for the Ford Mustangs in the GT4 class, and so he just needs to hold on for consistency's sakes a bit longer before the end of this race to try and make it towards the end. Yeah, slow down. Yeah, he just picked it up right now, so let's hope that is going to be his last one. Xavier Williams is behind him in the Mercedes and trying to catch up here. He was having that fight with the likes of Fabian, and then he dropped off somewhere on the circuit, and that is his fight over with him. Then you've got Brandon Berg down 15th in the Porsche Cayman GT4 as well, seeing what he can do. And then your second, well, technically your final active driver on the board left for your GT4s is going to be Adam Jones, the Quaxton Martin, seeing what it can do to bring this race home, no matter if he's towards the backside. You only score points in this race once you actually finish it. So Mason Harrington and unfortunately Eric Richter, the two drivers who are not in this race in terms of active participation, it's not looking too good for them. But that is your order. The 16 cars out on circuit. One loss from the GT4s, one loss from the GT3s. So we again are at a balance between those cars, and about 23 or so minutes left of the racing action. This is where it's going to start to get close for the drivers.
Yeah, well, we still got quite a few pit stops coming, so so much can get jumbled or tossed around here during during the upcoming pit cycle. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely. So the pit stops, especially the final ones, always prove to be the most interesting, because the drivers obviously get that car in the position to come towards the end of the checkered flag line. Oh, Andrew Fabian almost losing the rear of that GT4, and he manages to get past, let the traffic go past there, but almost making contact on losing that rear end for the angry rooster. Clearly the rooster was woken up and wanted to go another way, but he decided to point it back in the correct direction there. So good save there from Andrew Fabian, chasing still on Edward Foster, but he is losing time every single lap. So Foster is in a great position to take the win here for the GT4 class. For the rest of the drivers, though, things have really started to split up. Yeah, Jim, you mentioned you had something you wanted to show, or you were loading up?
Yeah, I'm loading it. I'm just finishing loading it up now because I'm slow. Plus, you decided to walk me through the field at the same time, which means I had to pause it while I was doing that. But that's all right. No, you're good. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, what I wanted to share was we've added a couple of new channel sponsors here. First and foremost, well, I guess not foremost, but first I'd like to talk about our new camera partner. We have reached an agreement and have decided to partner up with Whiplash Sim Cams. They have just some phenomenal packages, man. They're mostly an oval company, which we do a lot of oval racing here on the channel, being an American channel. But they have some phenomenal road circuit cameras as well. And we recently partnered up with them, and some of the shots that they give us are just fantastic, man. Well thought out. One of the ones that I really love, and it's kind of crazy, is the scenic blimp shots. Typically with the blimp shots, they're usually just kind of whacked out, but they do such a nice blimp shot here, and they just have, and they give us the ability to go really wide on some shots like this, but then yet we can get zoomed in super tight with different cameras, and that's been a struggle to have those kind of options. So really thrilled to be partnered with them. And then our other new channel partner is Racing Images, and they create abstract images of motorsports across the board, from sports cars to Formula One, vintage stuff going way back. I mean, the NASCAR, you name it. They even like MotoGP and all kinds of stuff. So they're in their digital download, and they're going to have an Etsy shop, a Etsy shop. It's not fully functional yet, but I was able to get my hands on some of the images, and I sent them to a company and got some canvases printed, and I was so excited when they came in the other day. I literally put them on the kitchen table and took a cell phone shot of them. I couldn't even wait till I got them hung or in my broadcast room or anything. Here are a few of the images, and if they're a little wonky, like an edge or something is clipped or something, bear in mind that it was because I took these with my cell phone. But so obviously one of my favorite drivers of all time, love James Hunt. absolutely love him. He was, you know, just that whole playboy, you know, mindset, you know, just so cool. So yeah, I got a James Hunt one. I've got Ken Miles, obviously famous, made famous from the Ford versus Ferrari movie. You know, did not win the 24 hours of Le Mans, but he did win. He should have won. And at the time, what people don't know about this is he had won the 12 hours of Sebring and the 24 hours of Daytona. Had he won, which he did, won the 24-hour of Le Mans, he would have been the only person in history to win all of those in the same year, even still to this day. It's never been done. So yeah, Ken Miles, pretty cool. Fernando Alonso, back in his championship season, love Fernando, love how aggressive he is. There's a theme. All these guys are pretty aggressive. That kind of fits my personality. But yeah, Fernando Alonso and then AJ Foyt. Growing up as an American kid, AJ Foyt won the Indianapolis 500 4 times. He's pretty much won everything. He's won Le Mans, he's won Sebring, he's won Daytona, he's won the Daytona 500. Arguably the most versatile driver that there ever was. Just absolutely fabulous. But anyway, that's just a few of the images, and I mean, they're just beautiful. They do phenomenal work. Yeah, just fantastic. So I will share that information in the future when they get their store up and running. But they're cheap digital downloads, and you can do whatever you want with them. You can get them printed. You can, you know, you can use them just digitally, however you want. It's you've got open season to do anything you like. So there you go.
Great shots up on the board there. Legendary drivers across as well, and. Love that pastel styling, the pastel painting of them. Very nice.
Yeah, kind of an abstract thing, which is that's kind of racing images styles, and they're going to have shirts and everything with, you know, like I've seen some really cool ones. One of my favorite ones is Michael Schumacher in his original, the Jordan 191, the 7-Up livery car. It's the first car that he drove in Formula One. Oh, I love that car. I have several paint schemes I've created with that paint scheme. And so, yeah. So we got, I'm taking a look at the pit stops here. We're starting to get a few. They're trickling in. I'm still curious about this Bradley Lovings thing. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, it's still strange with that early pit stop that he came in there.
I can't imagine that he didn't think he could make it from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's still 15 minutes left to go. I don't know if you can pull up our overlay there to have a look at what that tank is looking like on that GT4.
Yeah, on his. Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, just to have a look at what this possibly might look like for Bradley Lovings.
Yeah,
I mean, he's still got decent amount of fuel.
Yeah,
there's only 15 minutes left.
Yeah, well, that plays. If you think about it, half a tank, 30 minutes or 15 minutes left. That's about right. I mean, it's going to be close, I think. But I think my guess is that he pitted.
He's just a bit over halfway of the tank, actually. So
my guess
should be good here,
pitted, right as his window opened. That would be my guess.
The main question is, right, let's do the same quickly for Edward Foster up at the top spots. He's currently 51 seconds ahead of Bradley Lovings. Is he going to have to pit again in terms of how much fuel he's got left? We'll have a look to see what that is looking like with our overlay. Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, he definitely will.
So this is going to throw a bit of an interesting ball then up into that top spot for the GT4s.
Actually, let me see. I probably need to reset that. Hold on real quick.
Talking about it, here he comes. Yeah, he's jumping in as we spoke about it.
I was going to reset it because I was actually set on G. Yeah, see, that's, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, he was empty. So this might actually work out for Bradley Lovings' favor. Yeah, we didn't know what he was doing, Jim, but he is about 50 seconds. That is the average time lost in the pit stop here, total from pit row start to pit row end. And so Bradley Lovings might actually catch up here to potentially take P1 in the GT4s. So he's 10th. He's now coming through Banks Sabadell and through Europcar. So
Yeah, let's see where he's.
He's out already. Okay, wait, no, that was substantially shorter.
Well, he's not off pit road yet, but oh yeah,
he's off already. Yeah, he's off. Never mind.
He didn't take much fuel. He didn't need much fuel. That's the thing. He only took 14 seconds, and he didn't take tires. But Lovings took tires. So now the question is Loving's lap times going to be better than Foster's to the point of, which it does, I don't know, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. This could turn into a thing, so we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, the fighting has definitely come closer from 50 seconds down to about 18 seconds, but that is a substantially large gap to try and break down in 12 minutes left to go here. There's not a lot of time on the board unless Foster makes an error somewhere, or like you say, his tires are so damn cold for so long, so many laps. When we are breaking into the 9 o'clock side of things now, and Bradley Lovings is running on nice and warm and race ready tires here, so I think he's going to catch a couple of tenths in this outlap here for Edward Foster, but it's just not justifiable, unfortunately, for that 18-second gap. You can see it's still partially cloudy. According to when we last checked,
I was looking at the temperature is what I was looking at, the track temperature, which is down to 79. So it's not, it really hasn't fallen that much.
No, it's actually kind of staying up, yeah.
Yeah.
We checked the time of the actual track at about an hour, so that was at half past 8 at night. So we're just at about 10 to 9 in this race left to go. Well, sorry, 10 to 9 on track time, so just about to be 9 p.m. And that's why we're seeing the darkness is really starting to scatter around the circuit. But I think we might still finish this race in some kind of light. So we will keep our eyes peeled there. Jason Hayden has unfortunately also lost his time to Alexander Cortez. And Jacob Reed has maintained that 30-second gap as well to the top, so no real battling going on there.
Reed still has to pit.
He does, yes. Reed does still have to pit.
So if you look
actually did not know that.
Yeah, see, he's
going to come in now. Oh, he's not actually going to come in now. He's going to stay out for one more.
He probably has one more lap in there. I mean, as we see Quaxton there. I love that so much, Quaxton Martin.
Yeah, it's such a good
really
play on
hope
words.
That livery can catch on, you know what I mean? Like, and become a thing.
Yeah, like the Rexy.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, to me, honestly, it's every bit as cool as Rexy is, you know, especially when it ties into the name of the car. You know, I really love that. But, yeah, so he's bound to pit here soon. I mean,
I don't think you can do another lap after this. He's going to have to come in at the end here. Looking at that fuel metric in the bottom right-hand side, that is basically just going to be a lap left to go here for Jacob Reed. So he's definitely going to have to jump in. Okay, his average is a lot lower than Bradley Loving's compared to Edward Foster. That was about a 51-second gap. This is only a 33-second gap. Yes. So even if Jacob Reed only puts in the specific amount of fuel required,
he only needs 10 minutes worth of fuel, which is probably going to be about, what, 8-10 seconds maybe, something like that, 12?
Correct, yes. But Alexander Cortez is 20 seconds closer here. So I wonder how this is going to work out, if it's going to be justifiable in terms of time on track. Well, we will find out shortly, because he is coming up to Bank Sabadell and then through Europe Car, and then he'll jump into the pit lane. And then we can watch that time closely of Alexander Cortez, your current championship leader, in second, who might have a chance to shoot for the top spot here, depending on this pit stop coming up here from the UK driver of Jacob Reed. There he does jump into the box, because he is officially at an empty tank, no reserves left, nothing left to go, just a couple of sputters of petroleum to get it towards the pit box. And that is going to be all that he's got. Looking at your track map, you can see second is currently coming through Bank Sabadell. That is Alexander Cortez. So just at the top right-hand side behind one of the GT4 back markers, Jacob Reed now stops the car. So 20 seconds in before he's even into his box. Not up on the jacks, not changing tires. He's going to be in just for 9 seconds.
Yeah,
but,
9 seconds. Yeah.
Here comes second place down the main straight. A lot closer than Bradley Lovings was, but unfortunately still not close enough.
No.
To make, not close enough to make the overtake. So now it's a 9-minute chase and about a 5-second gap for Alexander Cortez. Can he chase this to Jacob Reed, or is he unfortunately going to have to take second? That is the real question here.
Well, I mean, he, like I said, his tires are up to speed and temperature wise, of course. Whereas Reed's could be slightly cooler, but not that much. He didn't sit long enough for him to really be that much cooler. Yeah, I don't know that either one of these battles is going to materialize. Certainly the Lovings battle is not materializing at all. The gap there is still 18 seconds. It hasn't changed. I mean, to be fair, the closest battle we've got on track right now is Terry Cantwell to Chandler English, and that's about a little under 3 seconds. That's the closest battle we've got on track right now. They really did not come back together during this last pit cycle like we had hoped. I am going to put the clock on this battle here, though, and let's see if it's going to close up over the next couple of minutes. But 7 minutes, I mean, to make up 5 seconds without some kind of wiggle or something, I don't see that happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there needs to be an error that the McLaren up at the top, Jacob Reed, he needs to make an error here in order for Cortez to chase. And I mean, you can see it from the last couple of laps. Obviously, he caught on lap 45 and lap 46, lap 47. Is going to be slightly different when Jacob Reed was inside of the pit box. But he is slowly but surely, he's about to break down into 4.9 seconds. Yeah, unfortunately, it's gone up slightly even more. But we're looking at 1 hour and 24 minutes into this race. Average lap time between these top two of about a minute and 41 or so seconds. So we are getting close to where that white flag will be shown. Brandon Berg gets himself a black flag penalty as well, unfortunately. That is down for 8th position of the GT4s that he's going to have to serve it up. And Alexander Cortez now down to 4.5 seconds. So he is catching here quite rapidly. But the question is the question of time. 6 minutes left to go. Roughly a minute and 41 seconds. So almost about 2 minutes per lap here. So we're looking at just about maybe 5 laps to go left in this race. It makes light work of the back marker there of the Quaxton. Unfortunately, no pressure there. And continues to push on to Jacob Reed. 4.4 seconds, just about 6 minutes left to go. I think this is going to be incredibly close here. Jimmy is closing rapidly. That's the main thing.
I mean, he is, but he's going to have to almost close 2 seconds a lap. I mean, it's really going to take that level of closure here.
Yeah, 2 seconds a lap is
that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of an achievement that Alexander Cortez is going to have to try and actually get. He is bringing it down every single lap, basically ticking it down like a time bomb. Yeah, it's down to 3.7 already, but like you say, there's not an infinite amount of laps left to go here. So even though Jacob Reed is feeling the pressure,
and we got 3.
even though he's feeling the pressure here, I don't think it's going to be enough.
So I think we're going to have 2 more laps after this one, is what I'm thinking.
2 more laps, okay.
Three laps, including the one that he just started. So,
it
might be
very interesting metrics.
It could be. It could even be 4. But. Yeah, well, let's see. He is closing fast, and let's see how. See, now he got slowed up by Lovings a little bit there because he caught him at a bad time. Not a lot, but a little. You know, lap traffic plays such a part. Just luck, you know, depending on exactly where you catch them on the track. If you catch them on a straightaway, you just get to blow by them. But if you catch them in a corner, you got to at least kind of feel your way around them a little bit there. So,
yeah, and it is the responsibility always of the actual blue flag runner. So the person who would be lapping the other person, it's his role to actually get ahead, without obviously making it the back marker's problem. It's not like Formula One where the FIA will obviously tell the blue flag runner or the black flag driver to completely shove off to the side to allow for the faster driver to go through here. In GT3 and hypercar racing, in most standardized formats, it is up to that racing leader to keep, it's up to the blue flag runner coming up on the back marker to get past in a swift move without ruining both of their races. Down to 2.9 seconds here for Alexander Cortez. He is catching every single lap by roughly a second. And Jim, we obviously calculated he needs to do this at about 2 seconds a lap, or else he's not going to have enough left. He's brought it down to 2.5. You can see just in front of Cortez is Jacob Reed's McLaren, but time is starting to become of the essence here, and it's starting to run out. There is only about 2 minutes left to go in this race, 2.5 minutes left to go in this race. And so that is going to consolidate for just about 2 to 3 more laps of racing here, depending on when our racing leaders come across the checkered flag line. Currently, Jacob Reed is in the middle sector of the track. He's coming up towards the main straight here, up towards La Caixa. And so we are about to get to the 1 minute and 28 second, 1 hour and 28 second, 1 hour and 20, yes, 1 hour and 28 seconds. I was starting to trip up there and think it was 1 hour and 28 minutes. It is minutes, sorry, it's not seconds. That's what was confusing me. 1 hour and 28 minutes, and now we are getting into the last 2 minutes of racing.
Record coffee.
I do, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's rough out here. I'm gonna be jumping into bed right after this race. You best bet. Get them Z's in. But it looks like our race leader is coming across towards a minute and 40, now a minute and 38, 37, 36, 35 seconds left.
Okay,
and so that is under.
This is the white flag.
This is white flag.
Yep.
This is indeed white flag. But look at where Alexander Cortez is. He's
Right
1.1 seconds away. So he has done what he needs to do. He's under a second now. The question is how this lap goes. It looks like he's going to go right around the outside here. He got past that relatively quick.
This is developing.
It is. If he had one more lap, I think he would have been completely confirmed
we would
here.
have a hell of a battle on our hands here.
I think we would. If one of them go and get a drive-through or a slowdown now, that's going to completely change the ball game here. But it's now down to 7 tenths.
Slow down.
Yeah, Loving's pricking up that slowdown there for the green Porsche, down in second for the GT4s. But Alexander Cortez, it's all eyes on this man. He is in that final push state, 7 tenths of a gap, and only about 5 corners left to go in this race before we call it. He needs to make a miracle happen here in terms of the actual speed he's getting out on track. He is so much quicker in this current phase of the race, but there's just not any time left. I think they're literally going to come across, and a little bit of an error coming there from Jacob Reed, a little bit late on the brakes coming in towards La Caixa, and now they'll head up into the following corners up towards Europe Car. 3 tenths behind. We're literally going to know he loses it.
He's spun it. Oh, man.
Too much push.
He was pushing
just
so
too much
hard.
Push.
Good for him. All right. Let's go to Jacob Reed here, celebrate his victory. Man.
Yeah, it's a good defense from him.
That was
He's
fun.
done
That was fun.
Yeah, Jacob Reed is going to take the throne. Top spot there for the GT3 podium. Alexander Cortez, after trying his utmost best, almost getting it, will take second place in a mere 17 seconds behind, so quite a bit of a distance. But finally coming around New Holland is going to be Jason Hayden to take third position on the GT3 slots. Edward Foster's also come across the line already for the GT4 class win. Yeah. And great work from him to get those spots up. Javi Sierra comes across in fourth. Chandler English is trying to still work his way down in fifth position. This is currently on board with Edward Foster, who's already come across the board. But what a good amount of racing we just had there, Jim.
That was fun, man. That last little battle, I was really, that was great. I was enjoying that that push. That Cortez did a great job there. I mean, he gave it all he had. Like you said, if he'd had one more lap, man, I think he would have had something for sure.
Yeah, definitely would have had the capacity. Oh, Fabian gets a black flag just before the checkered flag line. And is it enough? It's 45 seconds to Shreve. I think he's going to be okay.
Is it?
Because of the 40-second penalty. Yeah, it's a 45-second gap.
Yeah, he won't lose a spot.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll keep fourth, but still nail-biting action coming in there for Fabian.
Yeah,
he'll
I'm
keep
not
fourth
sure
position.
if he realizes at this point. He's probably in panic mode after that, but oh, man. What a fun race, man. I do love this series, and I hope that the car count continues to grow as this thing you know, which is exactly what they wanted. They just kind of wanted to grow it slow, kind of get all the, you know, the bugs, work the bugs out and stuff like that. And they've done that, and it's going to, I can't wait for this next season too. For the rest of the season and then next season. This is going to be a fun league. As we see,
Yeah,
had to get one more shot of Quaxton Martin there. Just needed one more.
One more little shot.
Yeah,
with
had to
the
get
beautiful
him.
yellow bill.
Plus,
The
Adam
wings
Jones,
on the
for
side.
those of you who don't know, is one of the main admins here. He's the guy that I've dealt with since day one. So I don't know if he actually owns the league or whatever, but yeah, but either way, yeah, well, a lot of fun, man. Good stuff. Have we got everybody across the line now? Yeah, we do. All right, let's get some results.
Yeah, results indeed,
Let's
and a
see.
good amount of racing that we've had today so
GT4
far
class.
for the GT3s. And there's your GT4s. Edward
Oh.
Foster up at the top.
Never
And
mind.
yeah. So
No, go
what
ahead.
were you saying, Jim?
I put I see that there's a race logo up there, which shouldn't be there. It says the Virginia 120,
the
which was the
Virginia
first race
120,
of the
I see.
season. I'm not sure why that's there, but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all good. We know we know here at Barcelona, so it's all right. So Edward Foster did take the win there. Bradley Loving's in second, 15 incident points, playing it a little bit close. Mark Prince and then Andrew Fabian with the 20 incidents, just exceeding the limit at the end of the race there. David Shreve will take fifth. Xavier Williams exceeding the limit there, did get himself a black flag penalty. Seventh for Adam Jones, and then eighth for Brandon Berg, down in eighth position with that 20 incident limit, also getting himself that black flag penalty. And then Mason Howington, your final driver there on the board, and did not complete the race for tonight's events. Moving into your GT3 class, your last class for tonight, Jacob Reed did take the win, 17 incident points. Alexander Cortez just behind, and then Jason Hayden to follow him. Javi Sierra in fourth position, and then Chandler English in fifth. Terry Candwell with 13 incident points, 58 seconds behind. Faraz Ibrahim will take seventh, and then Nick Marshall down in eighth place. And then the only GT3 driver to not take to the grid at all today was Eric Richter, down in ninth position. But yeah, what a good amount of racing that we got to have yet today. That is your point standings done and dusted. And it does look like we've got a couple of drivers in and ready for interviews, which we can get going there. Jim, I shall take the first one here by pulling in our chasing driver who was just trying to make the magic happen there. Alex Cortez, welcome into the box. You are live here at Motormouth Broadcasting. Man, talk us through that action-packed race and just the small slip up towards the end.
Yeah, I'm battling a little bit of a fever, so my pace I didn't think would be that good. I also just bought the track, but I could say I'm very happy. It didn't have that great of a quality, but throughout the race, I was getting quicker and quicker as I was getting more gelled with the car.
I mean, just what happened there at the end? Was it just pushing a little bit too much?
Just no TC. I usually run no traction control, so right at the end, trying to get right back on him. Hopefully, I could try and set him up in that last turn any way I could, and just lost it.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. The Mercedes just trying to get those final last-minute moves. In terms of pit stops, what was the overall structure of today's pitting sequence, the 60% limit, and was there any tire changes for you in the Merc?
So first stop, went full tires, full fuel, as much as I can put in there. And then about halfway through that second stint, I thought, I'm just going to pit now because I was kind of getting too much GT4 traffic. So I thought I'll just pit now, go a little early. I only changed the left tires on that second pit stop, which allowed me to catch Jacob at the end because I don't think he took tires that last stop.
That makes sense. Yes, he was starting to look like he was struggling a little bit out on the board there. And then we head to Suzuka, the next round of the series. That is going to be on the 5th of September for the 120 minutes of Suzuka. How are you feeling for that circuit?
I love Suzuka. I'm very excited for it.
Incredible stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us here in the box. Is anybody you'd like to thank or mention before you head out?
I want to thank Bomber for Adam Jones for putting the race on. It's always great getting into these races.
All right.
Absolutely incredible. Well, thank you so
Short
much
and
for joining
sweet.
us, and we shall see you. Yeah, short and sweet indeed. We'll see you in on the 5th of September for round number 6.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Jim, I'm going to pull up your main man here, you know, from a couple of places, the lawnmower himself, for you to have an interview with him.
Bradley, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Good to see you over here, man. I was surprised to see you in the GT4, the Cayman there. It's good to see you back in a Porsche. Man, you were doing great. I mean, you dominated that early segment and got up front and took the lead strong and pulled away a little bit. And but you seemed like you pitted early. Was that your plan, was as soon as your pit window opened to just jump on in there, or what?
Yeah, bad strategy call, man. I have not ran these GT4s before, really, so I didn't know they ate through the front tires so much. So,
well, they don't have any
Brad,
aero on the front of these things anymore. They changed that a few seasons back, and yeah, they'll chew the front tires up, especially if if you're used to GT3 aero,
Oh yeah, well, my peanut brain, man. I thought, I had 7 seconds to P2, and I was like, I'm going to go pit, take tires, and with my 7-second gap, that'll probably wash my hands with it. And yeah, my pit stop was 20 seconds longer than Ed's. So yeah, that kind of ruined it. But lesson learned. I mean, I probably should have just took rights and not lefts again on the second stop. But I don't know, man. It was a good race. The Porsche was slow on each straight. I could outbrake those guys and get them in the middle sector. I mean, I would gain about 5/10 in the middle sector, and then I would lose it back on the front straight. And it was just kind of a give and take the whole race with Ed until, I kind of handed him the lead there. He just had to cruise it on in.
Well, it was it was good to see you here, man, and I'm glad to see you driving a Porsche again. That throws back to when I first mentioned. I did tell the story during the broadcast here that you are actually the guy who talked me into getting into broadcasting. So, you convinced me that I needed to give this a try, and then here we are a couple of years later, and now it's come full circle. Man. Yeah, I know. It's I don't get to race anymore, which is probably a good thing, as slow as I was. So
oh no, Brandon Berg sent me an invite, some random league to me, and then lo and behold, Jim Cunningham's broadcasting it.
Well, but I've posted this in the OGRL league a couple times about coming over and doing some of these endurance races. You need to pay more attention to my post, apparently.
I get so many pings in Discord, man. It's hard to keep all of them up.
Well, I'm glad you came, though, man. I hope you come back and do some more of these the rest of the season. They're a lot of fun, and we're getting the car count up every time we do one of these. It gets a little better, and I tell you what, it's a great place for guys who want to come practice some endurance, or maybe some guys who are a little less experienced and maybe they want to kind of come get their feet wet at longer races, or learning how to swap drivers. And, you can kind of do all that here. So it's pretty cool.
No, for sure, man. I'm gonna drop a little link to this group in the big league there, and no, I appreciate Grid Up letting me come and race, and I appreciate you two broadcasting. You do a great job like always. This league's ran very well. Anybody that is looking for a good league, Grid Up's a good spot, and I'll see you 9 a.m. sharp in the morning, Jim.
See you fresh and early in the morning. By the way, anybody who's listening, OGRL, we're halfway through this season. You can come get your feet wet and be ready to go for next season. Coffee Cup on Sunday morning, one of the best GT3 leagues out there. So, yep, I'll see you in the morning, buddy.
I'll see you, bud. Peace.
All right, man.
Nice little interview there with Bradley.
Yeah,
good
Bradley's
to be
a good guy, man.
again.
So which winner do you want to interview here?
I'm going to pull in. I'll pull in let's pull in Jacob Reed. I'm going to have a chat with Jacob Reed here.
All right.
Jacob, you are live on the box here at Motormouth Broadcasting. And I mean, first off, just a huge congratulations on the win. And you definitely are working on that huge streak to try and contest the top spots of the podium, it looks like.
Yeah, I've had a few races off from the league. One for the Spa race, I was in Spa, and then the next race I was ill. So trying to get back into it, get some points back. But yeah, it was a tough race. I only bought the track today, and it's a very tough track.
Well, it looks like you and Alexander Cortez also both just bought the track today, and you guys both dominated. So maybe that's the strategy.
That might be the secret sauce. Yeah, you just buy the track the day of and get after it.
Literally.
Yeah, basically.
Talk us through the pit stops there with the McLaren. It was interesting to hear the verdict there from Alexander Cortez about how he decided to change the tires and the fuel levels. How did it go in the McLaren?
Yeah, I think Alex may have gone for the better strategy. I went for at the start of the race, like for the first 2 stints, I had the pace to be able to fuel save and get the extra laps whilst keeping the gap. So I was just fuel saving. Alex then decided to pit early and took left tires. But because I'd fuel saved so much, my final stop, if I took left tires, it would have held me up on the jacks longer than my fuel. So it would have wasted all the fuel saving that I did. So I had to go out on those tires, and yeah, that last 10 minutes, I was drifting every corner. It just wasn't gripping at all. I had to also be really careful.
You ran one set of tires for the whole race?
No, I took tires on the first stop.
Okay, all right.
The second stop, I didn't take lefts, and I was considering taking lefts, but then I didn't have enough fuel to put in to be able to take lefts and not lose time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it was very sketchy on the end. I think my tires are probably down to like 50% wear, and Alex had the advantage of new tires. And yeah,
did you get a little nervous there at the rate he was closing?
I wasn't nervous until on the last lap, coming onto the back straight when you come up the hill. I don't know what the corner's called. You know, you got that uphill right hand, and then you got the back straight.
Yeah, that is Banks Citadel. Yeah.
Yeah. I was having to lift a lot because my tires were so dead. And came onto the straight, and I looked, and he was like 0.9 behind. And I was like, we're fine. And I got into the braking zone. He's 0.3. And I was like, okay, we might have an issue here. And then, yeah, he had a bit of a skill issue. I think he got too excited being close to my bumper and spun it. And we were in radio together, and I was laughing a lot at him. And it was
yeah, he mentioned he clicked down to TC0 to try to chase you down, and that unfortunately bit him back at the end of it there. Next round, I almost said next week, but only on the September the 5th, we head to the 120 minutes of Suzuka. How are you feeling for that?
Suzuka is another track which I do tend to struggle at. As well, in GT3 I struggle at it because I kind of like downforce cars there. So it'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes. I think that's coming up to the Suzuka 1000 special event, so I'll need to get some practice in for the special event. But yeah, hopefully we can get another win. I think Alex is quite good there. So, and we'll see who else is not. Like if Odell turns up, I know he's very fast, so it might be a challenge.
Yeah, it might be a challenge indeed. It would be good to see a bit more of you guys contesting for the podium spots. But before you head out of the box, is anybody you'd like to thank or mention?
Just all the guys at Grid Up for putting up such a great league. It's a lot of fun. Also the community itself. I'm usually in the voice chats here all the time, and with all the team racing that we do, doing all the special events, it's great community here. So if people want to join, definitely get in here.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the box. We will see you hopefully the same situation on September the 5th for round number 6.
Great, thank you.
Have a great one. All right, that was Mr. Jacob Reed, your race winner for the GT3s. And then we shall bring up Edward Foster for Jim to have a chat with him.
Yeah, Jim Cunningham, how you doing?
Yeah, very well, Jim. How are you?
Good run, man. You really had a solid run there. Early on, Lovings got by you. I'm guessing based on the pace I saw you running later in the race that you were probably taking a little easy there, saving your stuff.
Yeah, mate. Like this track really chews up that right front tire, and I wasn't able to do anything setup wise to sort of fix it without making it just undrivably loose. So I had to just kind of wear it, accept the fact that it was going to burn up that right front tire, and just manage it and baby it a little bit. So When I saw that Bradley was driving the Porsche, I'm like, oh, rear engine car, maybe he's not going to suffer the same problem so much. So I was a little bit wary of him, especially with the pace that he was bringing. But when I saw him duck into the pits at the time that he did, I'm like, okay, he's probably going to take a third set of tyres at the end. And I wasn't planning to. I was planning to run long and sort of do that splash at the end. So, there was a second stint there. He was a little bit between. There was a little bit of time between us, and I knew that was sort of critical to minimise that amount of time as much as I could. So I was sort of pushing and trying to balance the tyre wear at the same time, knowing I had to make him last to the end of the race, and in the end it worked out. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, I mean, a really solid run from you, though. Well executed. You stuck to your plan, and it worked out in the end. And I think, I mean, Loving's definitely has some speed. He's pretty quick driver, but I think his inexperience in these GT4 cars kind of bit him there a little bit. He doesn't drive these things pretty much ever. He just jumped in kind of last minute, and I think that your experience there kind of served you well. Next round we go to Suzuka. What's your feeling about Suzuka?
Oh yeah, I think everyone enjoys Suzuka, don't they?
I certainly do. Yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit new to me as well. Like, I mean, I spent most of my time on iRacing doing oval racing, but in that you also need to look after your tires and look after your stuff and all the rest of it. So I guess it was a fairly good grounding for this type of racing, which I've done a little bit of. To be perfectly honest, I'm not a rookie to it. But yeah, going on to Suzuka, I enjoy that track. I think everyone enjoys that track. Not really sure what to expect as far as whether the strategy we're in tonight will work again or what it's gonna be. We're just gonna have to sort of play it by ear. There's so much that can play out in these longer multi-class races. So it's definitely my plan to be there. It's a bit of an early start for me. I had to wake up at like 4 a.m. to come do this. So
that's true. Yes. Well, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's Sunday morning for you. You're good. You can
I
knock it out before the family gets up, so.
Yeah, I think I hear the coffee machine at the moment, actually. But
that's probably a nice smell at this point for you.
Yeah, I had a couple before I started, mate. Smashed them down. But the few of the guys that run in this league, run GT4, they run in another league with me, and they've always raved about how good this is, and that I should come give it a go. And I'm just like, I've got to man up and actually come out and have a shot at it. And I'm glad I did. It was a lot of fun. Nice hour and a half spent racing around some really good people, really safe, respectful, good people. And the last stint was pretty nice as well, just driving around on a virtual summer evening in Barcelona, watching the sun come down, driving an Aston Martin, leading the race.
Could be a lot worse, right?
Bad, mate. Not too bad. Yeah, for sure, mate.
All right, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you come back. Go ahead and get to bed early on Saturday night so you can get up for the next one there. And we look forward to you coming back. You sure made it a lot of fun tonight. So, and congratulations. You got anybody you want to shout out to or thank for while you're here?
I'll just shout out to you guys for obviously putting on the broadcast, giving your time to sort of show us to the rest of the YouTube sphere, I suppose. And thanks to the guys that run this league. I know from experience the amount of work that it takes to run a league to this level. Obviously, a huge amount of work goes in on their side. So, yeah, props to them as well. And to all the other drivers tonight as well. Like, everyone's great. Miles better than the stuff you find in officials. I raced NEC last night. That was a bit of a... that was a different story. So it's really cool to race around guys.
I don't think that we had a single on-track incident that I can think of where two cars got together and crashed today. So
that's pretty good going, isn't it?
That's saying something in an hour and a half race. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So agreed. Shout out to the drivers. Good stuff. But, well, again, thank you. Congratulations. And we hope to see you in Japan in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good to me, mate. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
Great stuff there coming from Edward Foster, winner of the GT4s. And I think we got one more driver coming in here.
You can do the Prince interview.
Yeah, Mark Prince coming in, and Mark Prince, welcome in to the box here on Motormouth Broadcasting. Talk us through a bit how that race ended for you. Obviously down third position, still in the podium spots though in the Mustang GT4. How did it feel around Barcelona?
It felt great. I love the track. I was battling with Andrew Fabian for the podium for quite a while, and I skipped the tire change on that last stop, double stinted. He did not, and he was 14 seconds behind me, and he was only 1.4 seconds behind me when the race ended. So it was a really good battle. Clean race. Can't wait to go to Japan.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. I mean, we head to Japan next week, and I mean, how are you feeling about Japan? I mean, obviously, you just said you can't wait for it, but is it a track that you're familiar with in the GT4s?
Absolutely. Well, not in GT4, but in everything else. But yeah, it's a great track.
Yeah, it is indeed a great track. Yeah, that's phenomenal stuff. You had a good battle though, like you mentioned with Andrew Fabian. He just dropped off at the end there, which obviously allowed for you to have a nice run through for third place in this division. In terms of the races to follow, though, we've obviously got quite a nice schedule coming up with just a couple rounds left. After Suzuka's 120, we do also head into the Road Atlanta 1.5. What's your opinions on Road Atlanta in the GT4s?
Can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's a great track. They're all good tracks.
They are all good
that's
tracks.
true.
You know? It's a place to race, instead of a public street.
That is definitely true. And before you head out of the box, is there anybody you would like to thank or mention?
Yeah, my teammate, David Shreve. We've been running the race so far this season as a team, and we split up and ran as a two-car team today. And so we collaborate during the week before the race and practice together and try to help each other. So, yeah. And obviously, the guys at Grid Up for putting this on. Hopefully, we can keep increasing numbers and get a bigger league.
Yeah, incredible stuff. We also hope the same, and with the seasons to come. But thank you so much for joining us in the box. We will hopefully see you in the box with us again on September 5th for Suzuka.
Yeah, count on it. I'll be there.
Have a good one. That was Mark Prince joining us for the final interview of tonight. And I mean, Jim, what a great amount of action we've had around the circuit here in Barcelona. We've had a lot of ups and downs with a couple of the GT3 and GT4 drivers, a couple of them not making it towards the end, but majority of them providing us some heaped amount of action throughout this circuit.
Yeah, what a great event. This whole season has been really, really fun, and it's just getting better and better each week. Again, if you were out there watching, which there was actually quite a decent amount of viewers out there tonight. I hope some of you like what you saw in the clean racing and a place to ease into or just enjoy some endurance racing. Come over here and take part in this, and we look forward to seeing you on track. And I am excited for Suzuka. I cannot lie.
Yeah, I think Suzuka is also going to be a great circuit. That's where we will be seeing you next up here on the Grid Up Sim Racing GT Challenge, heading into round number 6 on September the 5th for the Suzuka 120. 2 hours around the Suzuka circuit in Japan, a great place for GT3 and GT4 racing combined. My name has been Tristan Herbst, joined in the commentary box and the production box for today's event by Jim Cunningham. And it's been a great time out on track with all of you. And we hope to see you all next week, next round, back in the virtual grandstand watching live with us as we head around Suzuka. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you shortly.